Hi guys! Welcome to the first installment of the Con Survival Guide. I'm Robin. I'll be your host on this little adventure. This guide is meant to be informative, not only for newbies to cons, people who've never attended before, but also for the seasoned con vets. I'm hoping everyone's going to get a little something out of this. We're going to be covering everything from what to do, what to bring, cosplay, panels, etiquette, basically everything you need to know so that you don't get lynched by your fellow con attendees. If you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to send them to me. I'll try to include them in later videos. You can also feel free to subscribe. So our first chapter is, so what is this con business anyway? Or how to explain cons to your friends and family without totally freaking them out. If you have friends or family who you want to explain what it is you do on the weekends and why you're carrying all those wigs and colorful outfits, feel free to send them to this video. I'll be happy to explain. So what is a con? Well, it's basically short for convention. It's essentially a gathering of like-minded individuals to share and celebrate in their common interests. That's the technical definition. It's a lot of things to a lot of different people, but let me at this point dispel quite a few rumors and misconceptions of what it is cons actually are. It's not a gathering of socially awkward, basement-dwelling, overweight, pimply nerds. No. We're not all like the comic book guy from The Simpsons. It's also not a place where pedos gather to stalk and target underage children who attend. It's also not filled to the brim with scantily clad women all looking to get laid, or people looking to get drugs. Sorry, boys. It is a group of individuals the same as any other group. We're all different. That doesn't mean that those things don't happen, so if your kid is wanting to go, don't just drop them off for the weekend. Trust me, it'll be better for everyone, and it'll cut your worrying in half. And who knows, you might even enjoy yourself. Now that we got that out of the way, I should tell you there's more than one type of convention, and depending on your interest and what you're really looking for in the convention, you might find one more fun than the other. There's basically two major groups split into multiple subgroups, and the two major groups are industry-run cons and fan-run cons. With an industry-run con like San Diego Comic-Con, it's basically put on by the industry to get out the latest information about their, newest movies, newest video games, newest TV shows coming out. You'll see a lot of big-name guests there, like Johnny Depp will go, the cast of Twilight has been, Harry Potter's been there, a lot of high-profile guests at the time. And it's basically more devoted to the business side of fandom than it is anything else. If you want to find out about the newest TV shows for your favorite series, or what's happening in the comic book world, or, you want to see that sneak peek of that new comic book movie that you really, really enjoy, something like an industry-run con is for you. If you're more interested in just getting to know other fans, you might prefer a fan-run convention, basically by fans for fans, like Dragon Con, which is widely known as the Geek Mardi Gras, because it is just a giant gathering of fans who party for about 5 days. You won't get as big-name guests, but you will get people like John Rhys Davies, Patrick Stewart, William Shatner has been there, the cast of Firefly, so a few years after Firefly was canceled, so they're still big-name guests, but they're not as in demand. You'll also find way more panels devoted for fan stuff, like breakdowns of, you can learn Elvish, or you could interact with other fans based on a series, or you could possibly see a screening of a TV show that hasn't been online or on anything in 30 years. It's really interesting, but there's also more cosplay and more of that type of thing at a fan-run convention. And in fan-run conventions, there's a million different types of fan-run conventions. As of this year, there's over 500 conventions worldwide, and I don't think that's counting the official ones run by Wizard World, I think it is. I don't know. But like the Supernatural cons and stuff like that are put on by a major company. Basically, anything that you can be a fan of, there is a convention for it. Comic books. video games, anime, even select TV series. I think Whedon had a convention all for himself at one point. I know there's a Supernatural con, there's a Doctor Who con, there's Celebration, which is Star Wars, there's Star Trek cons, any and everything. But even among those little cons, there's differences that might make you enjoy more one than the other. If your interests are mainly anime and you're into the JRPGs and you're into stuff like that, you might not find as much fun at a comic convention where, well, one, there's an older attendance base, and two, it's basically all Western fandoms, and you might not get as much out of it. It's a whole, trust me when I say comic book conventions and anime conventions are a whole different beast. Anime conventions have way more, well, either one is really open to mixing of the fandoms, like Dragon Con does have a anime track, and there have been increasing numbers of Western fandoms showing up at anime cons. And let me say this right now, how rude it is to walk up to someone and tell them they're at the wrong convention. They aren't at the wrong convention. They are there to have fun like you. It doesn't matter if they're dressed as a stormtrooper at Otakon or as Naruto at San Diego Comic-Con. It really doesn't matter. They're all there for the same reason. Alright, that about wraps everything up for Chapter 1. Since there are over 500 different conventions worldwide, I will be including a few links in the box below so that you can find cons in your area, and I hope that's helpful. Next week, we will be covering the basics of con survival, what to bring, what not to bring, how to save some cash, how to budget yourself, and the most important part of con survival, con etiquette. How to make sure that your fellow attendees don't want to kill you. I hope you all will tune in next time. See you there.